Salutations everyone, it's me, Bug here. Why? Well, as some of you know, or at least I think, today should be the last day of the Festival of the Arts down at Disney. And, well, you and I both wanted to see some more challenges between me and Sariea. So, this is round 2 of the Funko customization little challenge collaboration that we do. So Sariea from DreamItDIY and I got another Funko that neither of us know who it is to transform into another Funko in the Disney realm that doesn't already have a Funko. And I'm excited to see who it is. So let's just get right into it. Oh, I actually think I might already own this one. No, I don't actually. Okay. So it is the lovely Karen Walker from Will and Grace, which is kind of funny. Okay. Huh. Again, please go check her out and see who she comes up with after this video. It would be greatly appreciated. I cannot wait to see who she comes up with as I try to figure out who she will be. So, here she is. She's holding a lovely little wine glass, and her hair is pretty nice. Tight skirt, stuff like that, you know. Let me know who you think I'm going to transform this into before you actually figure out who I'm transforming it into. Or who you would transform it into. Well, I don't have anyone right off the bat, so back to the drawing board. So, starting things off, I thought of 2 characters. The first being Regina from Once Upon a Time, which is Disney, I think. However, she already had a Funko Pop. The other one I thought of, I knew didn't have a Funko Pop, and that would be Nerissa from Enchanted. Now, I love Enchanted wholeheartedly, so once I saw this photo right here, I knew that she was the one I was going to do. So the first thing I do is I take a hairdryer to pop off the head from the body, since I was going to have to add a decent amount of clay to this Funko. The head was slightly harder to pop off, but I managed to get it off and re-glue the head together with super glue. After that, I tried that air drying clay that I used last time for the small details. And I wanted to fix the hair to be smooth. I worked and worked and tried to smooth it out, and I got it on. However, it started to feel really top heavy the more I would put on, and I ended up ditching that idea and going with Sculpey. And Sculpey is a bake clay, so I got out my mother's heat gun as well and started sculpting the cowl of her dress. Now, the Sculpey, in comparison to Nara, was a lot easier to manipulate, and it just worked out a lot better. So I cut out holes and I smoothed it out to make the little points and the tips of her dress. And then I dried it with the heat gun. After that, I worked a little bit more clay because I was running low, and I made it so it was soft enough to easily mess around with, so I could form her dress or half of the dress. The top half of this Funko's body I felt fit perfectly for the style of Nerissa, so I didn't really mess around too much with that. I also took some clay and made the apple in her hand because that was the whole purpose of her in the movie. She was trying to get Giselle to eat the poison apple, and I thought it was a nice little touch. So I start forming the back half of the dress to make it so she can stand by herself and not need an extra stand. And I wanted to make sure she wasn't going to fall backwards with the cowl from the Funko head. After that, I managed to not stay in frame at all and start sculpting the other parts of said dress. Thank you, Mom, for being such an amazing editor while I sculpted the front part of the dress and the other side. Now, my tools that I did end up using was an X-Acto knife, a toothpick, a dotting tool, and a oil paint knife. Those are just some of the tools that I had from back in the day when I did a lot of clay work. I also had several pointed Q-tips that I used in multiple times. And right here you saw that I was taking the toothpick to try and smooth out certain edges that I could not reach with my thumb. And then I started sculpting the front middle part of the dress. As you saw in the picture, she has a really cool two-piece dress is what it looks like. One part being in metallic aqua and the other part being purple. Now that I got everything together and I heated it up enough to where it dried, I got the paints out and I was ready to paint. Now I started to paint. I took glitter paint and I mixed it with a matte purple to really give a little bit of extra shine because I used a metallic teal for the other part of the dress and I felt like just having a flat like purple wouldn't look nice. I also used black for the hair and red. Now, to start off, I started off with the hair, painting it black because I knew that if I was to quote unquote mess up and get paint where it wasn't supposed to be, the black would at least look dark enough to where you wouldn't really be able to see the mistake. And it was just the easiest thing to start off with before I got into the actual hard part of painting the Sculpey. I've painted Sculpey a few times before and it has given me varied problems, I guess would be a good word. Like, it would just, the paint would clump, or like, it would cause the Sculpey to break. It was really weird, so I was very skeptical and very cautious, so I started off with that hair. Now, the hair took maybe 4 or 5 coats to really look even, which is very surprising when painting with black, at least in my experience. I've never had to do more than like 2 coats with a dark black. But I digress. I continued to work every nook and cranny that I could with the black paint, and that was probably the most time-consuming part because of the weird portions of her hair and how it had all the lines. However, I do feel like it really makes the Funko amazing in the overall process and final piece. After I finished the hair, I mixed together the glitter paint and the purple to form a decent consistency to start painting the dress. Now, this gave a really weird outcome. So glitter paint is typically gluing glitter, and the purple paint is purple acrylic paint. So the whole paint side of things, I had to do more layers because it was coming on more transparent. But I didn't have problems painting the Sculpey like I have in the past with the paint, like, clumping together and looking very bad. So, all in all, I thought it was a win on my idea to add glitter to her. Not to mention, it's Narissa. If you've seen the live-action portion of Enchanted, you know that she is very sparkly and very, like, shiny. So, it just fits her personality and character so very well. Again, I do apologize for being half off screen. I thought I did a really good job, but obviously I was wrong with staying on screen. But I got every nook and cranny, and I painted all the parts purple that were supposed to be purple. And the only part that's that metallic teal is the mid area of the dress and the extra little clay that I added on. So I painted the rest purple, and we had a fun little time. I think this was the point in time where I was talking to my mother about how I was afraid of painting the Sculpey, actually. And then I did paint the apple as well. The apple, it was just red paint. I didn't do anything crazy to the red or anything. And then I added a second layer to the black hair. Like I said, it took about 5 layers to fully have a good matte finish on the hair, which, you know, just took a little bit of extra time, but we pulled through and made it look phenomenal. After the hair, I went back and did another coat of the purple on the dress. This layer started to have a nice finish to it, but it was still splotchy in certain areas, so I probably did 4 or 5 more layers to the dress before I started doing anything else as well. But, you know, slow and steady wins the race. And once I finished this coat, I decided that it would probably be smart to start painting the teal onto the dress. And
it was shocking to me how close the teal was to the light blue that I used in the Sculpey. And there was no real big reason why I used the light blue. I just had a lot more of it. And yeah. I looked at the picture of Nerissa and kind of forgot that she had another purple in like the cowl of her dress. I also was watching a eBay listing. I had a couple minutes left on this eBay item. It was Lapis Lazuli Funko Pop, and I wanted to make sure I got her. She is probably my favorite Steven Universe character, besides like Connie, and her Funko is not super expensive, but not expensive, so I kept watching the time on that as I was painting the first coat of the light purple to the Funko Pop. And I would like to say right now that this was probably the hardest Funko Pop I have ever customized. Not for the details, but for the clay work and making sure that the clay was smooth and I didn't have like bubbles or anything of that sort. I've added clay to other Funkos, but not in the extent that I added to Nerissa here. Sorry for the jump. It was just a lot of layering after that point, and now I am taking a fine point Q-tip to add eyeshadow to Nerissa, since that was the final thing I needed to make sure that she looked perfect.
And here she be. She is done, complete. I did it off camera because I didn't think anybody would want to see or hear the giant of a spray can putting the matte finish on her. Like, that's not pleasant, is it? Anyway, so she is technically considered to be the first Diamond Edition Funko that I own. If you want to consider me putting the glitter in her outfit as that, as like her second piece of the dress. Yeah, I'm very proud of how she turned out. As you see, the dual layer, and like, I feel like it looks like it connects enough, and like the apple that she is holding, everything. She turned out amazing. As a person who loves Enchanted and loves, like, Nerissa as a villain and, like, the comedic relief that she has and her, like, evil henchman has, like, it's too perfect. So I'm happy to say that I love how she turned out. She still reminds me of Regina. There we go. She still reminds me of Regina, no matter how I look at her. But, like, here is the before and here's the after. Like, I think I did a pretty dang good job, and you wouldn't be able to tell that was her. At least I don't think so. Again, this was a 2-person challenge, so go check out Sariea from DreamItDIY and see who she made. I am super excited to see. I'm eagerly waiting, as of recording this, to find out who she did, because we try to make sure that neither of us kind of know. Like, I like the anticipation. It's like a huge, big surprise. And, yeah, let me know who you would have changed this Funko into. And if you liked this, then give us a like. If you dislike this, dislike it. You know, let me know. What's your critiques? What's your criticisms? Is the clay work not that great? Like, tell me the flaws in it if you can. Like, I'm not saying, like, I'll tell you my biggest flaw is the paint right here. Like, the blue. Sculpey has a weird way of, like, congealing the paint almost, causing it to be harder to like get a smooth layer. So like that's my biggest flaw that I really do notice. But all in all, again, the hardest Funko I have ever customized, the most clay. Detail-wise, she wasn't detailed, but it's weird to feel like I'm back in high school working with clay again. So, again, let me know. I hope you have a great day and a great, big, beautiful tomorrow. Bye-bye.